Hey, good morning, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the new Argentina-Texas Chamber of Commerce webinar presented by Qualis Lab, one of our members from the IT committee. The webinar has been titled Why Testing and Process Automation. I'm Rodolfo Viola, your host and moderator for this session. The Argentina-Texas Chamber of Commerce is an independent non-profit voluntary membership association founded in 2016 with the objective of promoting investment, trade, education, and networking between Texas and Argentina by acting as a catalyst for innovative, ethical, and productive business relationships. The Argentina-Texas Chamber of Commerce also offers support and resources to help companies navigate cultural differences and overcome challenges associated with doing business in a foreign country. The Chamber is dedicated to fostering a strong economic relationship between Argentina and Texas and promoting growth and prosperity for both regions. In this webinar session, we will be talking about test automation capabilities. We are going to learn how to improve application qualities and cut manual testing costs. So let me introduce our speaker. Today is joining us Ariel Garcia, co-founder of Qualis Lab. Ariel is a specialist in quality and processes with a profound commitment to customer satisfaction. Throughout the years of experience in this field, he worked across diverse organizations and industries, where he learned the importance of quality as a foundational pillar for business success. His skills and knowledge span processes management, continuous improvement, and implementation of effective quality processes. Finally, we would like to express our gratitude to our corporate members of their continued support to the Chamber. They are Pan American Energy, Gold member, Duralight, Globant, and PCR, Silver members, as well as AESA, Marble of Mayral, Mayer Brown, Practia, ProShale, and Q Advanced Bronze member. Let us clarify to our webinars are recorded and uploaded to YouTube channel. A brief indication of the outline of our webinar series. First, Ariel will present his talk, and we kindly request you hold any questions and concerns until the end of the presentation. You can submit your questions in the Q&A chat, and we will read that to Ariel when the presentation is finishing. So, Ariel, let's start. All yours.
Thank you, Rodolfo. Good evening to everyone. Thank you for your time. Also, thanks for the Argentina and Texas Chamber of Commerce. I hope you can hear me well. So let's get started. We are going to talk about test automation. Yeah. Do you know these logos? I know you all do. But have you ever wondered how these major technology companies like Google, Amazon, Facebook, which are mother companies in the world, are constantly launching products without sacrificing their quality, without having a negative impact on their users or their usability? This is very simple, because all these companies have an automated testing strategy. But not only a strategy, they also have an automation tool that supports this strategy. So I'm going to give you a first statement that there is no great company without test automation. And that's what we're going to talk about. Test automation, but focus on tools, not on branding, because there are many, many, many tools. So we're going to talk about why using a type of automation tool. Before this, I would like to have a quick introduction of myself. My name is Ariel Garcia. I'm a specialist in quality and processes. I have over 20 years contributing with quality. I'm very passionate about this. I do believe that order and progress are needed in order to improve, but also I am certified international auditor. I'm a CMMI associate and a co-founder at Qualis Lab. Okay, now let's get into the subject. I'm going to try to be as simple as possible without getting into technical details, so we do not get into a rabbit hole. We're going to do the highlights. Before going to the automation testing tools, I would like to have a quick review of the main concept and the objective of the test automation, which is as simple as you can read. The objective is to improve the efficiency and effectiveness of the testing process by saving time of the manual tester. But test automation does not replace manual testing. In the contrary, it helps the tester to do things much faster and with much more quality. Okay? But how does automation collaborate with the testing process? Let's talk about that. First, time saving. Yeah, test automation allows you to run tests faster and more repeatedly compared to manual testing, saving time in the development process. Also, improve the coverage. This automation can execute a large number of test cases in different configurations, different scenarios, with the objective to increase the test coverage. Also, early defect detection. What this means? That automation testing can detect defects early in the development cycle, making it easier to fix, not only easy, also cheaper to fix before they reach production. That's one of the main scope of quality of testing, that we don't get to production with defects, with bugs. I know it sounds utopic to say, okay, let's go to production with 0 defects. Perhaps sometimes it's impossible, but in this case, with test automation, what we can do, we can reduce the things that can reach to production. Also, quality improvement. Automation can run tests repeatedly without human errors. So this improves the quality of the software that we deliver. Also, with efficient regression testing. When we talk about testing automation, the automation is especially effective for regression testing. So when we launch a new feature, we are sure that this new feature does not affect the existing functionality. Okay, to the main topic. There are many tools in the market. There are many tools. When I say tools, I'm talking about automation tools. So there are many in the market, but there are 2 main approaches to the testing automation tools. The very first one is the record and playback tools, in which our test engineers or our testers records the actions performed in the user interface. As you can see, I highlight the words records, actions, and user interface. What about the code-based tools? In this case, instead of recording the actions, the test engineers write the test automation script using a specific programming language. So as you can see in these code-based tools, I highlight other words. Instead of records, I highlight write. Actions, scripts, and instead of user interface, the programming language. So today we are going to focus on the record and playback tools. Let's eliminate for now the code-based tool. We're going to talk about record and playback. Okay. Why using an automation tool based on record and playback? Let's talk about the highlights. This kind of tools really get focused on your application, are easy with no code. They have a full ID and open API, which makes it possible to automate tests for legacy application, as well as the latest web, desktop, and mobile technologies. Also provides a very complete and detailed report, which allows you also to build absolute cross-platform tests. And one of the secrets that these tools have is a reliable object identification. What this means? It means that these tools analyze your application so they can identify elements and maintain them into an object repository. This object recognition tracks and analyzes all your UI elements on your desktop, web, or mobile application, and handles all types of objects, including, which is very important, the dynamic UI elements. And all this makes easily to maintain our repository. These are all highlights and functionalities that these tools have that make us learn faster the tool and have a return of investment in the faster time. And now I'm gonna start using some phrases that I really like. The first one I'm gonna use is one tool, all tests. What this means? Using a single tool can simplify the management and the administration of these test tools, because there is no need to learn and maintain multiple tools. For example, if in this kind of tool, I can plan and execute functional testing, regression testing, black box, crowd browser, data-driven, keyword-driven testing, also robotic process automation, browser automation. All this kind of tests, we can do it with only one tool. We don't need to have one tool for robotic, another for the cross browser, another for the legacy. With this kind of tool, you can cover all your tests. Also, one tool, all platforms. Like the previous item I had just talked, there is no need to learn and maintain multiple tools to cover all platforms. In this case, these tools covers web, desktop, mobile, iOS and Android, and also, which is very, very important, legacy. Many tools do not support legacy, and these kind of tools really do. Okay, moving forward, also, which is very, very important, all integrations for all technologies. These tools includes very powerful integrations. You have Jira, Jenkins, TestRail, SAP, I don't know, Git, Browser Stack. I'm just giving you some examples, but the flexibility for integration with other tools is another of the characteristics I highlight that these tools have. Okay. Okay. So far, we've been talking about the benefits for the testing, let's say, process, the testing practice, but how this helps the user, how this helps to our test engineers. We don't have to lose them, because this is a phrase that I really like. These tools are easy for beginners, but very powerful also for experts. For beginners, they have a short curve of learning, yeah? And for the experts that already know how to automate and how to produce testing scripts, they can improve their script by adding new validations. What I'm talking about. This kind of tool help the testers on solving the time pressures, and manual and multi-platform regression testing are really easy to use. They have called the test automation tools. This kind of tools, they have a really friendly user interface along with the tutorials. But the most important thing is that they have a user interface which is really, really friendly. They are also building methodology that simplifies the strategies such as data-driven testing, the keyword-driven testing, and text execution based on certain conditions. Okay, you can easily create test automation process without coding using the action and editor recording. This is what I was talking earlier. This means that you can do all the hard work of recording all the steps one by one, and then once you end up the end-to-end testing, you can robust your script by adding, for example, as I said before, new complex validations. Okay, I will translate it a bit. You don't need to sit and start programming a script. You just have to sit, play the record button, and simulate all the actions that a user will do. And then when you finish, you will have your script, and you want to review or add new validations, you can open and you can work about that. But the most important thing is that you don't have to do all the first work, which is all the scripting, all the conditions, all the repository. With this kind of tools, it's automatically you put record and you start. Okay. We talk about how this automation tool helps the process. We discuss a bit how it benefits the user, the tester, the engineers. But we're going to talk about some of the perceived benefits of the test automation. We're going to talk about, let's check some numbers about this. Okay. Among the perceived benefits of test automation, you have first, the control and transparency of activities, which increased in 68%. Also a reduction in the test cycle time, about 52%. You have overall security and risk reduction with an increase of 51%. You have better bug detection with an increase of 39%. And finally, you have better reduction of test costs and better coverage with an increase of 37%. Many times, when we are in a development cycle, testing is something that is left over. Yeah. So our coverage is a bit low. When you start automating these testings, you can start incrementing your coverage. And when you start filling those scripts, you will have a better coverage of your testings. Okay. Okay. The idea of this presentation, of this webinar, was just to give you a quick highlight of the two main tools that exist, the Playwright and record tools and the base code. Okay, so if you have any doubt, of course you can reach me on the social network, on LinkedIn. But if you have any question, this is a good moment for the questions.
Okay, Ariel.
I know watching the chat. I don't know if there's any questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, so we had just to start the Q&A session. So for the participants, if you just want to write down your questions in the Q&A tab down there in your screen. I already have a couple of questions, Ariel. If you want to start with that, are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
One, Monique says, can you recommend any tool that covers these specifications and capabilities you discussed during the webinar?
If I can recommend any tool, okay, yeah. You know, I've been working with and representing RunnerX for many years. RunnerX is a very solid platform, which also have very reasonable prices, which is something that's very important. When we talk about this kind of tools, you have to assume that they are licensed, so they have a cost to them. Also, Catalan is a great automation tool. We've been working for Catalan for also a few years, and both RunnerX and Catalan fulfill the topics that the highlights we've been discussing today.
Okay. Now, Pedro, how do you select the appropriate test for automation and which one should remain manual?
Oh, okay. That's a very good question. We always recommend, as I said at the beginning, there are many tools. Yeah. So what we recommend is get in touch with the specialists who can understand your objectives and very important, also your challenges in order to propose a tool. But propose a tool is just the first step. What you have to do once you have a selected tool, you have to validate through a proof of concept. The proof of concepts are very important. You know, I can believe that this is the tool that I need, but when I start the scripting, I have many problems because it does not integrate, does not recognize the scripting language that I'm using. So it's very important to work with specialists that can help you to propose tools and then to validate them through a proof of concept.
Good, thank you. One more, Jacqueline, within the spectrum of tools, which are many, you mentioned, how do I choose the most ideal for the organization?
Okay, this is something like I said before. If you have in your company a specialist in test automation, the first thing you have to do is to contact them, because there are many tools. I'm repeating this, but there are tools that perhaps you read the description and say, oh, okay, this tool is great for me, it's going to work. But then when you try to integrate with some of your platform, that's not. When you try to use, for example, you are using your company Java, and you have technicals that knows about the language, and you start using another tool, which is work with Python, for example. So that's why it's very important to work with specialists and start. This is like a debate. You have to show why this will be the best tool, and also why it wouldn't be the best tool for you.
Perfect. And we got one more. I guess that's the last one from Scott. Why this type of tools can we automate our test without specialized talents who know programming or any language of programming?
Okay, Scott, that's a very good question. You know, one of the great advantages, as I mentioned before, is that you can reskill any challenge of your organization in order to start doing this test automation. But what we said is the level 1, the basic scripts. So, but then if you want to improve, if you want to have better coverage, we have very better validations, then yeah, you must start thinking about incorporating some programming practices into your testing team. But you can do all the basic testing, the basic validations with no need of knowing of a language programming. I like the question. That's one, because there are many times they think, oh, I need to have an expert of automation in order to start having a script. That's something that has changed in the last few years with this kind of tool. With what I was telling you before, the record and playback button functionality that really helps to start automating.
Okay, perfect. There's no more questions. So
okay.
Yes, you are just ready to close. Thank you again, you all, for attending this webinar. Thank you, Ariel, for this amazing presentation. Thanks, Qualislab, for leaving you there to doing the presentation, at the Argentina-Texas Chamber of Commerce and their sponsor to let us be here. Remember that this webinar will be in YouTube just for future uses.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Rodolfo. Thank you, the Argentina-Texas Chamber of Commerce, for this opportunity. I hope you all have a great time. I hope also you have learned something new about test automation. Perhaps in the next time we can talk about code automation tools, Rodolfo, if you think this is to continue with the presentation. And as I said before, if you have any doubt, you can reach me on the social network.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Have a great day.